you thought you would. You call that news, you think that's good. Your phase one trial was misunderstood. Honey, that's a story for the neighborhood. You put a single coin inside a digital vault. Now you're looking at me like it's all my fault. Ha! You must be new to this game, 'cause every time the ending is the same. Go on and fly, baby, reach for the stars. Go tell your story in a million bars. But there's a force down here you just can't deny. No, you can't escape it, so don't you even try. Oh, gravity,
pulling you down.
oh, gravity.
Back to the solid ground.
You can pump it on the rumors, you can pump it on the hype, but you can't escape the law. You're just not the type. Everything that flies that high, yeah, it's gotta come down. All the believers, they're holding on tight, staring at the green with all of their might. Your chart looks like a supernova in the sky, a beautiful explosion, but we all know why. It's the final flash before it fades to black. A one-way ticket and there's no coming back. No, no, baby, put on a show. Go on and glow, baby, everybody knows that there's a force down here you just can't deny. No, you can't escape it, so wave it all goodbye. Oh, gravity,
Pulling you down.
oh, gravity.
Back to the solid ground.
You can pump it on the rumors, you can pump it on the hype, but you can't escape the law. You're just not the type. Everything that flies that high, yeah, it's gotta come down. Now you can call it physics, you can call it fate, you can call it the market, setting things straight. But I just call it common sense, a universal truth. From a 100-year-old man to a kid in his youth. What goes up is coming back down, so let's get it now. Gravity,
Pulling you down.
sing it, gravity.
Back to the solid ground.
You can pump it on the rumors, you can pump it on the hype, but you can't escape the law. You're just not the type. Everything that flies that high, yeah, it's gotta come down. Now you can call it physics, you can call it fate, you can call it the market, setting things straight. But I just call it common sense, a universal truth. From a 100-year-old man to a kid in his youth. What goes up is coming back down, so let's get it now. Gravity,
Pulling you down.
sing it, gravity.
Back to the solid ground.
You can pump it on the rumors, you can pump it on the hype, but you can't escape the law. You're just not the type. Everything that flies that high, yeah, it's gotta come down. What goes up?
Must come down.
Yeah, what goes up?
Must come down.
Oh, I feel it pulling down, 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 down. Oh, that sweet, sweet gravity.
Alright, place your bets, folks. I already know my hand. They're going all in on a pocket full of air, a flashy press release and a wing and a prayer. Think they got a royal flush, a can't miss thing, pushing that stock up, listen to the choir sing. But I'm on my second beer, ain't even worried none. This high stakes gamble's already been won. Go on and push your chips, I kinda love the show. Higher and higher, baby, let the good times roll. But every party's got an end, and when the music's thin, that's when they all realize the trouble they're in. They can be the masters of the moonshot trip, but I'm the one and only, yeah, the king of the dip. When the chart turns south and starts to slip and slide, that's when I hop on board and I enjoy the ride. Watch it go low, now that's my kind of show. Everybody's scared of seeing red on the screen. To me that color's the prettiest I've ever seen. 'Cause I don't need a rocket, I don't need a peak. My bread and butter is a company that's looking weak. The lower that it goes, the bigger that I grin, watching all my pretty little winnings rolling in. Go on and cheer it on, I wanna see the height. Yeah, light it up, baby, make it burn real bright. Cause the brighter that it burns, the faster it'll fade. And that's the foundation of the trades I've made. They can be the masters of the moonshot trip, but I'm the one and only, yeah, the king of the dip. When the chart turns south, it starts to slip and slide. That's when I hop on board and I enjoy the ride. Watch it go low, now that's my kind of show. It ain't about the glory, it ain't about the fame. It's about knowing the rules to a different kind of game. While they're all looking up, my eyes are looking down. Cause that's where the real treasure in this town is found. They can be the masters of the moonshot trip, but I'm the one and only, yeah, the king of the dip. When the chart turns south, it starts to slip and slide. That's when I hop on board and I enjoy the ride. King of the dip, yeah, they can have the peak. I'll take the valley every time.
Alright fellas, you know the steps. Ha, let's get it. 6 a.m. the coffee's hot and brewing. Scanner's light is cutting through the ruin. Found the one, that diamond in the rough. What's on the crypto treasury? Ain't that funny stuff? They're buying in, they think they struck some gold. About to watch the greatest story ever sold. The volume's pumping so loud and clear, but I hear a different rhythm in my ear. And oh, I see it climbing, what a scene. 1,000 buyers glued up to the screen. But I ain't sweating, nah, I'm cool and calm. Cause the DJ's about to play my favorite song. They do the chase, I do the fade away funk. Oh yeah, betting on that garbage, that beautiful junk. Let 'em run it up, up, up to the sun. I'll be waiting at the top just to have my fun. Dancing on the way back down till the day is done. The fade away funk. The FOMO's kick and see 'em lose their heads. Believe in every single word that's said. Our earnings call a wild success. It just means the company's a slightly smaller mess. I find my entry clean and so precise. Don't have to think it over, don't have to check it twice. Cause I've seen this movie, baby, and I know the end. Here comes the final scene, my friend. Oh, I see it topping out, what a view. The panic setting in for the whole darn crew. But I ain't selling, baby, I'm just getting warm. Cause this is just the quiet before the storm. They do the chase, I do the fade away funk. Oh yeah, betting on that garbage, that beautiful junk. Let 'em run it up, up, up to the sun. I'll be waiting at the top just to have my fun. Dancing on the way back down till the day is done. Some people call it gamble, say it's just a guess. But this ain't random, baby, this is chess. It's a rhythm, it's a beat that I can feel. The pump is the illusion, but the fade is real. They do the chase, I do the fade away funk. Come on, betting on that garbage, that beautiful junk. Let 'em run it up, up, up to the sun. I'll be waiting at the top just to have my fun. Dancing on the way back down till the day is done. Oh, the fade away, funky bassline and how much come down, now down. Yeah, that's the one, just like that. Fade away funk.
Good evening, traders. I'm used to saying good morning. traders, and I'm always thinking about good morning. What are you guys looking at to trade? It's weird being in the office, not trading. The fingers, you got the itch. I need to scratch it, but guys, got the good old Buffalo Trace out for the green team tonight. Good bottle here. Good bottle, the Buffalo Trace. We got a special guest. Special guest with us tonight. You guys know him as the artist behind this music. And he's got multiple funded accounts going. He opened up another one today and killing it on this $100,000 account. I'm joining him here soon. I mean, he's got me motivated and inspired, and so I got some questions for him tonight. And I want to dive deep into it. You guys hear from me enough, so let's get the man Perfect Fall in here. How we doing, Mr. Byron?
What's up? How's it going?
So what music we got on the horizon? We got a whole nother album coming out here
Man,
soon?
there was something Fade said earlier today. I felt like could have been a new song, but I don't remember what it was. I got distracted, and then I was gonna go back to it, and I completely forgot. I need to rewatch the
Trader
VOD from this
ADHD.
morning to see if I can remember what he said that I was gonna make a new song off
Oh,
of.
it was the street thing that he posted in Discord, probably, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Where there's a hole in the road and just stop going down that street. Go down a different street. It's essentially like we're digging ourselves in a hole. That quote.
Yeah.
You gotta stop doing that. And so there's fundamental truths, guys, in trading. I was just sitting here, Byron, reading a little bit of Trading in the Zone. It's amazing. Have you read it?
I have not. No.
Oh, you would love it. You would love it. But yeah, there's some fundamental truths related to trading. A, anything can happen. B, you don't need to know what's going to happen next in order to make money. Wow, can you believe that? 3, there's a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. And 4, an edge is nothing more than just an indication of a higher probability. One thing, Byron, that sticks with me with this is there's a random distribution between your wins and losses for any given edge. For any given edge. I think it's so important to remind ourselves of that because we want the next trade to be a winner, but there's a random distribution. Your edge will play itself over time, so let's not focus in so much on that one hand.
Yeah, it's so true too. Like, I mean, even if you can look at, even if you have like a high success rate normally, we were talking the other day, like I think on average, my success rate's around like 62% over time. And like that's pretty solid. But that means just like every time I enter a trade, 40% of the time it could fail. Like it could go against me. And like that's it's not like you're flipping it or like you're gonna get every time it's 50-50. Like if you win one, the next one means you're gonna lose or vice versa. It's just like every time it can go against you, and you could have like 3, 4, 5 go against you, but like you just can't, and that's just the way it works. And you just gotta have the confidence, like, all right, I know I'm a 60% or whatever trader, and then like over time it'll just work itself out. Like these 4 losses really don't, and even if they're in a row, don't really mean much in the grand scheme of things as long as you manage that risk.
Right. Yeah, when you look at the equity curve, like it should just be a dip. It shouldn't be like, okay, this was an all-in or all-out kind of trade. So what I mean, I want to dive into your equity curve as well because I know you've been doing super, super well. I mean, I know, so you have like what, 3 funded accounts?
Yeah, I have a 25K flex, I have a 50K flex, and a 50K max.
Love it. I know you displayed so much discipline because you were going through like a little like a drawdown period of time where you were like just taking a few losses, and you said, you know what, I'm going to not go hard. I'm just gonna kind of maybe even open up a new account, which you did right now. But you still got those 3 funded. You just didn't press the pedal because you were having like a little cold period. Right?
Yeah, it really like is crazy too, because like September was like an all-time month for all-timer for me. I was just on a crazy hot streak. Like I only had 2 red days in all of September, and it was just pressing the gas and like hitting one after another. And like September was great, and then I come into October, and um, I October is like when I think like the month started, and um, I started the first 50K, and um, it was just like getting used to the bigger numbers. I think was more difficult than I originally expected. Like I was like going into it like, okay, I got the 25K funded, I scaled it, and I'm continuing on this, and then so like I've got something going. I'm pretty consistent right now, and then like when I move over to 50, I'm like, okay, I can do the same thing but with more size. But then I don't know like what like, but when you start like taking more size and you start seeing those, like you'd see bigger wins, and then you start thinking like, okay, oh cool, this is great. Like I want to every win should be this big, right? But then you swing, which means you take more size, and then you start thinking big red numbers, and you don't want to
Yeah.
like. In my head, I'm like, oh, I don't want to realize those red numbers, so I hold on and make it worse, and I like it. It's the holding and hoping, but on the other side, like hoping it comes back to you,
Yeah.
and like on the short side, like it more often than it might, but it's still not like I would hit like I'd take too much size, and then I'd hold and hope because I don't want to realize that big red number, and then before I know it, like I'm already at daily pause, and I'm getting in a bad mental state, and I'm buying through daily pauses. So I got that first 50K, and then I was like, I funded, and then I was working both like that 50K and the 25K, but like I got in a bad state in both of those because of that. Like I was just messing my mental, and then so I was like, okay, I'll start the fit, or I was like, let me do like 50K flex, or 50K. Yeah, first was 50K max, then I did the 50K flex, and I got that funded like a day because I had like there was a stock that I got it funded like on going long on it, and
Oh, I think I remember that.
yeah, and it was nuts. It just
You,
kept going,
you were
and
like the Warriors. I knew they were going to be on
yeah, I'm
this.
like, this is
Yeah.
like one of those, like every once in a while you see it, and like you get in at the like
Yeah.
you pull it up at the right time, and you're like, oh, this is the Warrior play of the day, and I'm in at the
Mhm.
right time, and it was just one of those, and I got that. I kept like I one after another, like I would trade it, and
Mhm.
on the way up, take it off, and then wait a couple minutes, get back in, and go right back up again. It just kept going, and I was like, and so I got that funded. But then I was still like, I got that funded, but it was like that was like a outlier day. Like I'm not normally taking longs, and so like that was just that one I probably shouldn't have gotten funded really. But then I got it funded, and it's to go back to like my normal what I was
Yeah.
doing, and it was back in the same cycle. Like I was just had lost. I think like early in October, I also like I said I got wicked on a couple that immediately went in my favor too, and or would have been in my favor,
I
but
know
I
you
got
went
wicked
through that
out.
like spell of getting wicked out, and then you're like, I'm not placing the stops anymore, and then
Yep,
that's
I
probably
would
when it
even
started, right? That's when the
yep,
cold streak started. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I
Taking
would
stops
even
off.
set stops because I always set stops, right? And then I would even set stops, and then I'd remove them, or I would move them up, and I'm like, well, I'll just give it a little bit more room. It'll be fine. I'll just give it a little bit more. And then it comes up, and then I take it off completely, and it's just like in my head, I'm just like so like in my own head this whole thing. So I have like I got the 20, I had already had the 25K in drawdown. I had the 50K max in drawdown, and the 50K flex. And this week got the 50K flex in drawdown. And I'm just like sitting like I'm like I don't want to risk those. And so like I
So is
came
it
up on
true, like when you scaled you got the larger accounts, like what we say as far as the emotional dial going up with bigger
yeah.
size,
Well,
where it's like, okay, now I'm more biased on this because these are bigger numbers. I don't want to realize this large of a loss, and that's influenced you adjusting those risk parameters. But
yeah,
ultimately,
exactly.
you have a good edge, and it plays out over time. So I mean, the one thing, in your shoes, like I would do, and I try to do this, is just like set the stop and and try to distract myself from that ticker because, yeah, like I can get very over convicted on certain
Yeah.
plays, because you've seen it so many times, and then that's like the beginning of the end when that play doesn't work out. And it was like
Yeah.
even today, I was fairly convicted on SCNX. I didn't oversize it though, but SCNX it ended up working out real well throughout the day and everything today. I mean, it just worked out, but that's not every single day. And I don't go and just like Mark Douglas said, we preface this whole conversation with that. There's a random distribution between the wins and the losses, so you have your edge. So just get involved, even with that larger size on the larger account, like you did today, and we can jump into this 100K account because you hit like $900 today, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
I gave a little bit back off the top because I took a stab at Newegg. Um, but yeah, you can pull it. Like it started off on a good foot for this one for sure. Um, I had a 8, and it ended with 8. It was up 9.15. I had a little bit off the top, like $25 off the top, because I took a really small stab at Newegg. Let me scroll down to this at Newegg when it was pushing up earlier, and I took 25 shares just to and a really tight stop.
Where,
But
where did she end up?
uh, it was like 70, or so it
Oh
closed
yeah,
at like
70
it
30.
pushed to 70, and it's sitting at 62 right
Oh my
now.
god,
Yeah,
what a squeeze
just
on the thing.
crazy. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so like, and this is like what we talked like throughout the month where I was like, I started trying. One of the issues with the 50K flex was that I started trying to size things, like size into winners, which is something I've not historically done. And I had a couple of those. That was the really started the removing or like the so I would get wicked, and then what really started like messing with my confidence, my stops, was sizing into winners, because I would size into winners and then it would come back against me, right? And then I'm like, oh, I've sized into this, so now I'm got even more size and
Would
even
you
more
keep the
risk.
original risk, or would you bring the risk down to a
I
little
would
bit?
bring the risk down, but then I'm like, it's coming back up to my entry, and it's like, and like instead of like, I was like, I would be like up 50, up $100 on a trade, right? And then once it would break through a key level, and it would test, and it would reconfirm for me, and so I'd take more size, and then the reconfirm would be like a fake out, right? And now it's coming back up to my entry, which
Yeah.
is lower, and I would bring down the stop, but then I'm like, I was up $150, and now I'm break even, and I don't want to, like, I'm like, I still, like, I get over convicted.
It does
And
mess with your head. I mean, it really
yeah.
does. It's hard for me to do that, but I mean, it does pay out. Like today, BYND, dude. Like that thing went from,
Oh,
and BYND was great the other day as well, doing that size in the winter. So yeah, it's not going to work every time, but even the handful of times where you do start sizing these winners and it does work, those are like the paydays.
yeah, for sure. Like I definitely, I saw some, like I had some big. It was like the thing, joke with fades now, but like I had some really big days. Like I had some really big days doing exactly that, and like sizing into winners. But then
So you
I
just
would
don't
have,
have confidence with it. Like so, moving
I don't
forward,
have the confidence, and it's an, I think it's just an experience thing doing it. And like I feel like if I want to like practice at it and like get the confidence in it on like um when to actually size into a winner versus letting it just ride out, which is like what I usually do.
Mhm.
um, or when I should take it off and resmack it, kind of like Fades does, or some of those things. Like I think it just like I would need to practice it with some really small size, with like just take some small, like a 5-10
Yeah,
share position, and like try to do that for a little while just to like get comfortable with it.
I
On
see.
those setups,
I
because
see.
those
Yeah.
setups are just something I've not traded a lot
So
historically.
let's
And it's
let's
like,
speak about for those that are not aware. Like I'm, what I know is you hit single entries at like the prime time on these plays. What you believe is okay. This is had a massive euphoric move. I'm just shorting at this level, maybe against the
yeah,
highs, and you go full size. So let's talk about your approach and your trading edge. Like what's been making that approach profitable And what exactly are you looking for
Yeah,
criteria?
so if I'm looking through my trades today, so if looking at my count or my
Hmm.
thing, like only two of my trades did I scale my position at all, and one of them was a super small trade wasn't super comfortable on because I don't normally trade a lot of large caps, but IREN was popping up. I tried to take a short on that, but I only did like 25 shares. Like that wasn't really a thing. And I bumped it up to I started with 5 and then I bumped it to 20 or 25 and
Hmm.
that wasn't really. And then on GNTA, I think this one, yeah, I sized into it a little bit and then it started coming back or it popped back up and I started scaling out of it. Um, so I was like, I scaled into it, but then it was popping back up against me. And so I started scaling out of it, thinking it was going to go back up. But like, I was still pretty convicted it was going to fall. It was going to go down long term. So I didn't want to take it off completely. So I started like to try to do what like phase out
So
and I
what
started like
was
scale
your
out of it.
entry? Like what were you looking at with GNTA that said, okay, there's edge here. I'm going to take a
GNTA,
trade.
like um, I've just seen that set up like there's a lot of like times where you will have something that pop up like super early in the morning or late after hours the night before.
Yeah,
And when I pulled it up on the chart, right, it was looking,
I'm gonna pull this up.
yeah. When I pulled it up, like specifically when I pulled it up, it was looking pretty heavy. I was looking at my 5 minute, my 1 minute, and my 15 or my 10 second, and it was right about right before that big green candle, right. So like it starts fading, and then I got it like right before it started that downtrend, right before that green candle. Um, and so I wrote it down a little bit, and that's when I added it to it, and then it popped up with that big green candle, and started like, okay, I need to scale out of that, but I'm still pretty confident it was like almost like a single day hangover.
Hmm.
Was how the chart was looking to me. Um, and so that one was really the only one I really did any scaling on, and all of the rest of mine were single entry. Like, and what I did, like, what really works for me is, like, you'll see, like, I traded, like, I'm not getting married, like, really works for me that I don't get married to a single stock,
Hmm.
and I try not to get over convicted. Like, if I sit
Mm.
and trade for too long, um, like then I get over convicted, even if like it's not like something that's working super for me, or like I originally feel like it's really strong in my favor, then it starts to like dabble out, and I'm talking myself into getting convicted on it because I don't want to like I'm
Even if
sitting
you
here
were,
forever.
I know you don't really leave leftovers, but even if you
Yeah,
left a piece and just set like a trailing stop or a break
yeah.
even stop, I mean, there's it's still going to increase, your bias. You think on that?
Yeah, for sure. So, but like, if you look at this, like, what I'm really good at, and what I found I'm really good at is finding setups that I really like. Something that I'm when I pull up the charts, or like when I start in the morning, I'm looking at the top gainers and I'm looking through
Mhm.
charts and I'm trying to find a setup that I like. And then once I find a setup that I like, enter full size, which I typically like. My full size is probably about 500 shares right now. And then depending on the price, like I'll dynamically scale. Like I took some, like, GNTA was a higher price. It was over $10. So I took a little bit less. I
Mhm.
took about 150 shares. And then like, it's like super expensive. I'll take even less, and then I traded NRXS, which is about $5. So but typically I'll take full size right away, because I'm only going to be trading something that I have high confidence this is going to work for me now.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to sit in it for a long time and and then get over convicted and it starts going against me. And I'm like,
So
well,
how I'm very interested. You said full size for you is 500. Now, less 500 shares, is that break it down for the 25, 50, and 100. Yeah,
yeah,
the difference there.
so it's really been something I've been trying to like hone in on. I'm not even 500 is just something like I've kind of settled on right now, but it's kind of been something I've been working on and trying to find those levels, right? So like when I was working or when I'm working the 25K, it's typically like my max size. I'll probably take about 250 if I'm doing a single entry. Um, and then for the 50K, it's probably not much more. It's probably about like 300, 350. And then for this 500 or for this 100, um, I've started like I'm working about 500, but like what I got into my issues with is on the 50Ks was I'm like, and I had this issue when like a couple months ago when I tried to take a stab at 100K before I was probably ready for that. Um, was sizing way too big, so I had like um I would have like if you look through that, it's like I have ones that I'm taking like 1,000, 1,200, fifteen
Mm.
hundred because I'm scaling into it, and like those go against you so fast. Like
Oh man.
especially on a 50K, my max drawdown is like 1,000 or 500,
Yeah.
and if I have 1,000 shares, I can only lose 50 cents in my daily pause. Like, and that's especially with like when I'm trading these euphoric plays, like that's a wick. Like that like you can just
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I would take 500 and then I would scale into it and I'd take 500 more and I'd be at 1,000 shares all of a sudden. And I'm like, I'm 3 trades in, I'm at daily pause.
I think, yeah, well, I think a decent rule of thumb, at least it's been working for me. And I know there's a lot of guys in chat. Like, let us know. Hello, Joseph. Congrats, by the way, getting your payout this morning. Let us know for you too, Joseph, what's been working. But for the 25K max, at least I have a $250 max, Paul. So, but I'm never given one trade $250 max loss. But I think breaking it up in like, probably at max, like each trade should amount to like a quarter of that. And as
Yeah.
far as how my trading goes, like I don't want to give any more than a quarter of that. So for the 100K max, whatever that is, is that 1,000 drawdown on the day?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So I would be like each trade for that. When I start that account, I think it's going to be $250 is probably reasonable.
Yeah. And yeah, that's completely reasonable. And I think like I think it's I think that's kind of like when I was starting today on this 100K, I was like, I don't, and that's kind of the big thing that I'm trying to work on, right? Is managing the risk on my losers, not letting things go against me. Cause like on my other ones, when I got all of those into drawdown, I'm like, all of those I'm taking, like, if you look at the charts, we're like up, 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 massive loss. And I would like, when I'm doing these, like when I'm working on this 100K and like today, like when I'm trading my edge, when I'm like dialed in, I'm focusing and I'm doing what I know that I'm good at. I'm taking $100, $200 a trade. I'm taking the trade off and I'm moving on and I'm waiting for another setup. It might be on the same stock. It might not be. I traded, and it might be on the short side again. It might not be. Like,
I think you just have to know yourself.
yeah,
And I know we were talking about this in the Discord earlier, guys. It's free. Join it because there's so much valuable information going on there. We don't stop talking trading once we're done trading. You got to know like what is your nature, and are you working against yourself and your account? So if we do have a tendency to want to like overstay the welcome and keep fighting the ticker, like you have got to put maybe even like a one loss max on the ticker, because otherwise you're gonna be undisciplined. You're gonna keep trading this thing. You're gonna keep losing money, and
yep,
it's not worth it. You gotta move on. I've found for myself, and that 2 losses per ticker I'm fine with, because even after the first loss, I'm very hesitant in making sure I'm not revenge trading this to get involved with it. So it's like, yeah, it's like just knowing that for yourself. Know what are the stats? Are you going to be revenge trading, or are you still taking your edge on this? But adhering to the initial criteria of the first trade is very important. So just taking that stop
yep,
and then reassessing. Because that was my problem. I mean, I blew up C Pro accounts because of that, where I would, but because I would, it just looks better. Like to me, as a like I'm so over the experience, I've just seen these tickers. I know what the Euphoria does and know how it ends, but it's just timing. You know, timing is tricky, and sometimes you could be a little early. Like whatever that ticker this morning, GNTA, I saw a lot of people who blew up. This one guy who I'd been following on there, who's been growing a small account, blew up on it, getting involved front side too early, and then not adhering obviously to the risk, and then GNTA. I mean, these tickers can move quickly. They can move fast, especially when it's a liquid and pre-market. You got to respect these things. Got to respect risk. And there's a lot of those gurus out there, you know, saying this is why I don't short. This is why I don't short because this and that and blah blah blah. You know,
Yeah.
we've gotten funded. We're getting payouts, and all we do is essentially short. I mean, I don't, and I'm not worried. I used to be like, I used to be scared. Like, okay, I'm shorting this thing could go up indefinitely, but if you can learn to trust yourself to do what's in the best interest of your account, there's no fear involved. I know that I'm going to respect risk when I short this. I know I'm shorting when I get into these plays. I'm shorting into the 90 percenters, into the Euphoria, looking for the backs, you know, the backside after these guys have bought it on up. I know the risk levels very well. I'm going to respect them, and so I know there's no fear at that point, because worst case scenario, I'm going to get stopped out at exactly where I think this invalidates. The fear used to be like, am I going to do what's in the best interest, right? Because once you start slipping into that state of mind where you don't even know what you're going to do, you don't know what you're going to do, and it's based off of what the ticker does. Like, I'm shorting this, and if it goes higher, I'm just going to scale it into
That's
infinity.
honestly, that's what's burned me a lot, right? Is like I get like, I'm like, we've seen these so many times that just pop up and then shoot straight back down, right? And so like I'll pull, and sometimes it's even be like, I feel like it's not like it's always my fault. I'm the one pressing the buttons, right? But like I'll feel like it's not my fault because like I'll pull up a ticker and I'm like, it's shooting, like I see it on the scanner, it's shooting up, and I don't see any news. And it's because my platform hasn't put the news in yet, right? And it's like I'm like, oh, no news, get in there, wait for the immediate drop down, and then it's like 5 minutes later, it's like 50 million private placement. It's like, oh, it's like, but
Bitcoin treasury strategy.
yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
And I've done that so many times where it's like that exact thing where it's like I'll see something popping up and I'm just I get
It's so
anxious, or like it's
juicy.
been a slow
It's
morning
so
and I'm just like,
juicy. Yeah.
yeah, I'll like jump on I'll jump in on X. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take this short because it's gonna drop right back down. It's like, and not giving it time to actually work and start and wait for the confirmation, like wait for the backside, wait for the confirmation, or wait for the setup. And I'm just like, I jump into it way too early. Then I feel like I have to scale into it, and instead of just like, because otherwise it's just like going straight up against me. It's like I don't even have time to set a stop or what.
Those
It's
are
already,
the worst. I have
yeah,
experienced that. They're the worst, where it's like I get involved in the Euphoria on the short side, and I go to set a stop as it's like
yeah. It's
points
shoot. You don't have
higher.
to play. Like
It's 3 points higher than where I was gonna put my
yeah.
stop. I'm
Oh
like,
man.
this is awful. Yeah, and then at that point you're like, oh great, here we go.
You set a stop and it's like, the chart, the candle's like way up here, and your stop's like, oh, that's never gonna come back to my stop. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. Appreciate that. Love the support, and we appreciate you in here, Joseph. I'm excited to learn more about your approach and your strategy. Yeah, this is awesome. I agree. I mean, that is the time. I've said this quote many times too. If you can eliminate expectations, like there shouldn't be any fear. Essentially, like if you know what you're gonna do, that whole bird in the branch analogy, where it's like trust your wings, don't trust the branch. I'm fine at that point. But when I get in something and I like feel the deer in headlights coming on, like, oh great, like it's going further than I anticipated. I didn't have really a stop in mind. I just saw how juicy it was and I jumped in. That's when the bad news, can
Yeah.
happen. But
I think one thing that I'm really trying, or another thing I'm really trying to work on is predefining, like you talk about a lot, is predefining the the trade, right? Before you enter. And when you're trading, when you do those things, like when I, or I guess when I say you, I said when I do those things where I enter something that is like just a euphoric thing popping up, there's no time to predefine your trade.
Yeah.
There's no time to like go back and like look at the past history chart. There's no time to like decide where you're going to set your stop and your take profit. You just jump in, and then yeah, like you said, it's 3 points against you already, and and that's really not.
And I know that happened to you, and it sucked
Yep.
because it was like seconds after you took the stop off. Like you had a couple
Literally
strings of
seconds. Yeah.
like you had a couple strings that were just it was awful, just unlucky. I personally like I knew it was gut wrenching for you in the moment, but
Mhm.
I didn't really um I wasn't fearful like it was gonna really affect you or your
Yeah.
strategy or edge because I mean you it just you got unlucky a couple times. I
Yeah.
mean clearly you got to keep the stop on and you know that and thankfully you didn't like get revengey. You were assessing like you were
Yeah.
assessing in being very self aware. That's what you have to do.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Fran, yeah, sometimes it moves too quick to look at the daily, but what I've found works for me is like, and sometimes I still do take those pops, if I feel like it's a pretty good situation, but I'm only in it like those I'm now like the one that I got with that I that one I sent was I felt like I've traded that setup a lot, and I'm not in it for a long period of time. I'm in that for 30 seconds, 45 seconds max. I'm in that because I've seen that every day. It's going to pop. It pops up, hits 120% of yesterday's close, and drops down. And then sometimes it keeps going down. Sometimes it will reverse and go up. But I'm only in it for that scalp, and I'm not. It's not something that I'm going to be super convicted on. And that's like that's the only time I'm now that I'm trading those euphoric plays. I'm still like trading, like I'm still trading the euphoric plays, but I'm waiting for the setups to come to me instead of trying to get
Yeah.
in on the front side of moves. I'm trying to trying to get to wait for a setup that I can predefine the trade where I'm not
Oh, you did that
trying to
really
race the
well
clock.
on da, 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 da. Any UP today. You did that
Hmm.
really well. You waited for that one. I could pull that one up. I saw where you hit that at. And it was a good setup. You
Yeah.
you
So
waited
like,
for that perfectly, honestly. Like yeah,
yeah, I
right
actually
at
got that on the front side in pre-market too. On the way up, I traded on the way up, and then on the way back down, I had that chart still up on one of my screens, and I saw it getting like it popped up, and I saw it getting heavy. I was watching the 1 minute and the 10 second, and I'm like, like this looks like it's gonna break down, but like I have a defined risk in that like I was giving it basically the 1 minute candle before. And I'm like, if it goes against me, then I'm off. I'm out. Like this could, like this is feels like a descending triangle, but I've seen those reverse before. But I'm not going to. I have a very small, tight risk on this, and that's what I've like basically
well,
all
like
day today. What I
everything
traded, I waited for
I
those
did.
descending triangles.
Yeah.
I waited for those heavy
Mhm.
plays where I'm like, I don't even like this. I have a tight stop, but I don't even think my stop's going to come into play because I'm waiting for trades that I
Mhm.
have a high confidence that are going to work for me right now. And that's why I take that full size position because I have a high confidence A plus waiting for those A plus setups that I can take, and I'm going to sit in for like not like 20 minutes max, and then I'm out. And that's what I did all day today for I like I hate that Newegg kind of I had a 75% win rate today until Newegg, and I just took a stab at it, and it was like
I don't know, like, I have 0 confidence with those actually, like, real reputable tickers too. I mean,
yeah.
I have such
Yeah.
high confidence, and, like, today, it was, like, 6 for 6 on these names, and that's where the confidence comes from. I mean, I've seen these over and over and over and over and over again, but it's all about, like it's not about what have I seen? It's ultimately about what am I it comes down to you. Like, what am I going to do if this thing doesn't do what I think it's going to do?
Yeah.
That's all. And so you're absolutely right in that waiting. So you just said that waiting. So uncommon patience, we've talked about that,
Yeah.
pays. Uncommon patience pays, and then uncommon discipline as well. Waiting for those setups, and then you're sizing where you're confident. That is something too that's been I've been evolving here lately with that as well. So it's actually been paying dividends for myself, and I know for you too, to just focus like sizing your bread and butter. So like the plays that were hottest today, I I used to size the same amount as the hangovers, but I know for a fact that I have a less edge on day one movers. I know
Yeah.
that. Those are my biggest losses, like getting involved in day one movers. Yes, I do have big wins on those as well, because yeah, you can go from $1 to 50 and back down like GLTN did today. Um, but they're trickier on the timing. I think you'd agree with that. The timing's trickier. Hangovers are much easier to define, like the risk levels.
See, for me, the hangovers, and this is the difference between you and me is like when I'm trading these day one movers and I'm waiting for I'm waiting for descending triangle. I'm waiting for like something to be like for it to be heavy, like against VWAP or something like that. And I'm waiting for that heavy look. I'm waiting for a specific view of a chart. Um, and I can define my risk as like I have the previous candle
Yeah,
as
MEUP
a
was perfect. I mean, you
yeah
had the
as
high
the
day
pre
and there
as
was
like the
descending
previous
triangle.
candle is basically my risk. If it's going to bounce up, if it's going to curl up against me, then I'm out. But for like the hangovers, like you and FaZe do the hangovers really well, and I struggle to define risk on those because like where do I put my stop on this, because it's been kind of just sitting there for a day or 2 days or 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's real simple. I mean, I'll pull up this one that today I didn't trade this one, but it was BACQ. This was picture perfect. Well, this may have I would have given it a little wiggle room there, perhaps, but the clear levels on the hangovers are previous close, previous high a day, pre-market high. Those levels. I mean, because again, they're
Mhm.
hanging over those resistance levels, so that's what I'm always looking at. Previous close, previous high day, pre-market resistance as well, if there's any to define. And because they're so slow, it's going to take some momentum to get back up to those levels, and it's fairly tight. They're right or right out, and and they don't have any momentum, so
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
what I like about them. So if they do get it, it's invalidated and I'm out of it. But otherwise, they usually have a ton of room to sell off, and think BYND even today. SCNX. Well, today I do want to mention this one because it was so beautiful. Oh my God, she's at $1.20 right now. Yeah, the SCNX was a gorgeous hangover here. So we had I mean, the levels there were significant. I wasn't going to risk all the way up, towards the after hours high that it put in,
Mhm.
but 220 would have been my risk here. So you know how I am with the magic 20-cent risk.
Yeah.
Never hit it. Yeah, but yeah, that thing just snapped right out of the gates. That's how most of these work after you've already put in this significant move towards the end of the day. So I love these. I want them to have no volume, no long volume. Really, I just want them to profit
Yeah.
take and
Uh,
bleed.
the majority of people that have their under 25K margin accounts that are having to wait till the next day to sell, right? So like they ride it up for the day that it
Oh
moves,
yeah.
and then they sell the next day because they can finally get out of it and not take a PDT hit.
Oh, and they waited too long. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so that's where I size. So this circle back to the sizing. The NEUP today worked out great. The descending triangle worked out great.
Mhm.
But like the day one plays where they're having abnormal volume, I in at least for my trading goes, those I do like the setup NEUP, but I'm not going to take the same size just because in my opinion, there's the overcrowded nature creates a little less edge, a little less edge. Maybe it's not even as significant as I think it is. But if you have the clear defined risk levels and it's fairly tight, like you said, descending triangle right against the high of day, I
Yeah.
mean, why
I
not go
think
for it?
Yeah, I think that what I've come to learn about myself and with these is that I'm not looking for dollars a share, right? I'm looking for 30 cents.
Mhm.
Um and or 40 cents or whatever
You
it
get
is.
in
Like I'm
and
not
out.
looking
You
for
really
multiple
get in and out.
like
Yeah.
the hangovers where it's like it's still up a lot. I'm like I feel like I'm gonna take smaller like size or like even if I size up, like I'm waiting for this to fade out over the course of the day, and I'm like, I feel like I need to get
It's a
multiple
different
dollars
trade. It's
or
a different
share
kind
or
of trade.
whatever.
It's a different entirely. It's yes,
Yeah.
different kind of trade. So your style is you wanna time like a good entry and scalp it for 30 cents.
Yep.
So the risk criteria on that is essentially the same as the hangovers. You're either right or right out on your scalps as well. So it's
Yep.
you're getting in, and if it goes against you, you're getting out. Otherwise, you're gonna milk
Yeah.
it.
So today in my head when I started like, and what I'm working with this whole thing that I'm trying to work on is defining the risk, and I'm like, okay, all of these trades I'm gonna get regardless of my entry size, I'm gonna give it $100 of risk. So
Mhm.
I'm not letting any of these go against me in the corner. So if I enter with 500 shares, right, I'm only going to give it 20 cents, right? Or is it that math or something like that? Yeah, I think it's 20 cents. Because 10 cents would be 50. So I'm only going to give this 20 cents against me. If it goes 20 cents against me, I'm out. Like I'm only going to take the setup where I think there is very, very little chance that it does go against me. I don't like, I'm going to take the setup that looks like it's going to work immediately. And if it turns around on me, I'm out. And I did that like with all of these today. I'm like, if I enter with 150 shares, then I have like $1 of wiggle room. And that's like, I would take that on like a higher priced one. I would take like 150 shares if it's like a $9, $10 stock that I like give it a little bit more wiggle room, but like I'm not I'm not going to sit there and marry it and let it go against
You
me.
know, the scaling conversation is so tricky. And you just have to know what works best for you. So what works best for you is hitting the perfect entry. And honestly, Byron, like that's what works for me too. I have tried. I understand and I admire the people who can just scale and scale and scale, and like that's part of their trading criteria. But how I got funded, how I'm getting payouts, how I'm doing well successfully right now is I just if I allow myself, Byron, to scale plays, I get in sloppy entries. That's just what I
Yeah.
just allow myself to do that, and it's not good. If I just wait and I say, look, this is where I want this trade, and here's where it invalidates for me, then I take the good entry. I'm not getting in early, like with a feeler or trying to like see what's gonna happen. No, I'm getting in at the right time to get in, and it either it's gonna work from there or it's not. And if it doesn't, I move on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally on board with that. I work on yeah, it seems like I do the same thing but on a much smaller time frame. So I'm looking to get in, and I think my average time to hold today was 18 minutes. Um and so I'm like most of the time I'm in and I'm only in it for a few minutes, and then I'm out. Um, I'm gonna catch a move. I don't need to catch the whole move in my head.
Mm,
So
mm,
if I hit, and my goal is right now, if I don't want to, my goal right now, or like my quota right now is $500 a day. And my head, I'm like, I don't need to hit $500 in one trade. If I hit five $100 winners, then I've hit my quota. If I hit 10 $50 winners, then I've hit my quota. I don't need to get the entirety of my quota in one trade, because I know that I can win at a high enough rate that I can get my quota by just taking the part of the move that I think is the most predictable. And I don't need to get the entirety of the fall down. And I might still like the setup even. I think today on GNTA, um, I got a good piece of the move. I got it on a small share size. I got 150 shares. I got nearly $1 a share, and then I took it off, and then I waited a little bit, and it started looking heavy again after open then, and uh, I got back in because I saw another setup on the same stock that I like, but like I in the past I think I would have like looked at that and I'd been like, oh man, I should have just stayed in it, right? But I should have just stayed in it and I just ride it the whole way down. But I've had so many times where that's come around to bite me because I stayed in it and I waited for it to come back around.
I think you should just keep an eye on your data and see, like with GNTA, even if you would have left, let's say you're going in your 500 shares, even if you left 50 shares there and trail and forget about it, like just,
Yeah.
so just as you progress, like maybe that's something just to consider, like even if it's 10% and just back test to see if that would work out for you over time. Because like GNTA, dude, 50 shares there.
Oh, I mean, there's for sure edge there, and like,
Yeah.
and look, I know you do it well. Fade does it well, and I have done it in the past, and I've done well with it. I've also had a good not do well with it. I think for me, at least, what I've experienced to date is that because I don't like sitting in trades for a long period of time, I start to get anxious when I've been in it for a long period of time. Even if I leave, it just leave a little bit, right? And then it starts going back and like, or it always had like, even on the way, even if it's going to fade out the entire day, it always will come back up a little bit and then it'll go back down. And like my my ADHD, if I'm not on my meds, like it's just like, I need to move on. Like I want to focus on something else.
There's not a percentage like of this position that you really could just not care, like whatever it does.
Yeah, it's like I if I'm in it, then I feel like I I don't know. Like there's not like a
Need your attention. Yeah.
yeah. It's something like I don't know, and it's just something that I need to get better at is like being able to if I'm in a trade like that, being able to just like walk away, not even like just walk away, but just like leave it and like go look at something else. That's just something that like I'm always micromanaging all my trades, and if I'm in several at a time, then that tends to burn me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. I can see it. Just something to think.
No,
about.
I mean there's definitely edge there, and you and Faith have done that well, and it's just something like an experience thing that I haven't done it much, and I think like I would need to practice that. And
I think it's helpful, like if you do hit your 500Q and now you have like 5 leftover 50 share positions that literally could get you to 2Q on the, like if they just fade all day. It's something just to consider. It's helpful for me too. Like I care less if I'm already at Q. Like if I'm at Q and I have leftovers and they're all like break even, they're all break. Like if they curl back around, I'm still at Q.
Do you use trailing stops on those?
I stopped using trailing stops because those were backfiring on me, and maybe I just didn't give those enough room. What I have been doing is just setting the stop at break even on leftovers, and that tends to work better. Like it allows for all the fluctuation. Like the annoyance with my trails, where I even if I gave them 50 cents, like it would. I would
the fluctuations,
at the top, like every time I get taken out, like at the right back up at the top of the next pop, and then it keeps fading.
Yeah, it's almost like getting wicked out, but you're not. Like it's gonna fluctuate. Like on the way down, it always does, and that's not a bad thing. Like if it's gonna fade all day, it's not a bad thing. Like if it's gonna fluctuate, but yeah, I've had that a few times too, where it's like it'll like drop super fast. And your trailing stop goes with it, and then it pops back up and takes you out immediately and then drops back down again.
Yeah, it's so aggravating. Traders that are still here, yeah, stick around for a little bit. We're gonna do a giveaway here in a little bit. If you guys are not over at Trade the Pool, you can get a 5,000 account eval and join the party like Byron and I have been doing over at Trade the Pool. But I wanted to ask you about like over your journey, what's been one of the biggest? I think this could add a value to traders, and I know you mentioned like throwing this. These are great. These Friday night live streams. I think they add a lot of value. And so even tonight, I can take this one and download it and send it out. I'm gonna take a look at some of those resources and platforms. But what's been like your biggest aha moment in your trading journey?
You know,
Because I
I
saw
was
your
thinking about,
chart. It went like straight down to straight up over a couple
yeah,
a
and
few
that,
years or so. I mean, you literally started as everybody does, tuition, paying tuition, and then you're doing very well now. You've made it all
yeah,
back
I
up
think
again.
like I don't know if there's a single moment. It's just been like a culmination of things of like learning over time, and yeah, I did have that moment, but where I think it was this summer when when I found like started first when I started shorting, instead of trying to play the warrior game and trying to, um, which I think like uh, I think I don't know, I'm not gonna comment. There's some value there in like in that ecosystem, I'll say, and there's some good knowledge transfer there. There's some good tools there, but trying to emulate others' trading style is not something I think that is a recipe for success. You have to find what works for you. And maybe it is the same thing as someone else is doing, but I think more often than not it's not going to be. And I think finding like learning that and finding what works for me, um, was the first aha moment, right? So like over the summer when I first started, like I'm like, this isn't working. Like I want to make this work, but it's clearly what I'm doing is not working. So like, how do I, where do I go from here? And so I was like, okay, well, it's literally I think when everyone starts shorting, they're like, what if I just press the other button, right? Like, if I just press the red button instead of the green button, every time I press the green button, I lose money. So like, what if I press the red button?
Mhm.
Uh, and to an extent, like it's I mean, there's some truth to that. It's like I kept like trying to chase those things that were popping up, and you almost can never be fast enough to get those. Like
Yeah.
I'm like I'm like researching like how do I
That's
get
what
the
I
news faster? How
That's
do
what
I
I
get
love. Yeah, exactly. You have exactly. You got to have the news. You got to know where all the sheep are. That's what I love about shorting. You can be lazy. Like what?
yeah.
Okay, what just jumped up and had its move like the last few days? I mean, you're just so reactive and it's just reacting to all the
Yeah,
price
so,
action and
like,
all
by
the
the
boom.
time that I'm entering this, it's like the move is done or, like, it's maybe it's not done, but, like, I'm entering it at the wrong time all the wrong times because by the time I get to it, then it's gonna have a pullback, and then maybe it goes more, but I got in at the wrong point,
Hmm.
and I'm just it's so difficult to time and be fast enough to make those trades worthwhile. So I'm like, when I started shorting and I started trying to scalp those, and then um, that was I think that the first time I started actually winning more trades than losing. And then from there, it was figuring out. I was still on C Pro, and it was figuring out sizing on my C Pro account, and it was I didn't have commissions at the time, so I was taking like 5 shares, and trying to like I was literally taking 5 share trades, and because I didn't have commissions to worry about, and I was just like, I'm gonna milk this no commissions, and I'm gonna make a couple dollars at a time, just trying to learn. Like I wanted it to be not, I wanted to have some money on the line and not be a paper account, because I think that the mental aspect of the mental difference in trading a live account, even if it's only for like dollars, is so different than a paper account.
Mhm.
And I wanted to, so I was like, I'm going to take 5 shares at a time, and I'm going to kind of just use that to learn. And it's like, I'm starting to win more trades than lose. And by shorting and by sizing down massively. And then I started sizing up, and then I got hit with commissions on CPRO, and that started messing because I was like sizing way too small for the commissions to be worth it. And then I hit TTP, and that was kind of the next leg up. So it's I feel like it's not been like one aha moment. It's just kind of like been stair stepping. Like I'd be like, all right, I start shorting, and then I figure out sizing, and then I get TTP where I can start to actually have some freedom. Where in CPRO, you're working with that small account, and you're so it's not even like restricted in rules. It's restricted in like mentally having to, like, you have to pay for the locates, you have to pay for the commissions, and there's so many things that you're like thinking about, like you're having to pay for to make this trade worth it, that it, I don't know, like
Increases
that kind of
bias.
stuff.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, I already the overhead per trade. It's like, okay,
Yep.
I'm already in a deficit here, and I haven't
Yeah.
even put on the trade. So now yeah.
So,
No, I definitely get that.
yeah. So the next step, I think, and the most recent step, was fine, or I guess not the most recent, but the next step was finding TTP, and through your streams of finding TTP and having the ability to have a little bit more wiggle room, being able to short anything without having to pay the locates. That was a big beat or big thing. And really just like being able to trade without, and knowing that not on any given trade, I'm not going to blow my entire account. I might blow this account, but that's going to be $100 and I'm in a new eval, right? It's that kind of helped me a lot, knowing that like I'm not
It does
risking
help. It does
all
help
of
for
my,
sure.
yeah.
Well, the big thing too is that a lot of those other brokerages, they don't auto liquidate you. You know, they'll
You
have
have
a max
to,
loss, but
yeah, you have to like, a lot of them will like can, but you have to like reach out to them and email them. Like they don't make it obvious that you can do that. And like they're not like TTP, it's like upfront, like, hey, you've got $500 or 250 and you're done for the day. Um,
that's what I love. Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about the Max 25. Like, to grow it to the point where 200. Even if I took a max loss, it has no impact on the overall equity curve, because we all do make mistakes from time to time, and to have that capped, at a minimum amount, it has been worth it. So I'm an advocate of the Max, accounts for sure. I think they've been super helpful for me, when I do make a mistake, because the
mhm.
human behavior does set in from time to time, and you let the ego take over, and you make one mistake, one little mistake, Byron. We've seen that evidenced across the board with QMMM and many others, where
Yeah.
they'll just go from $1, $8 to 200, and it's a wrap. It's a wrap on so many accounts. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. It's stair step. Like, that's what it sounds like. It's just like
Yeah.
this,
It's
and
like, it's never, it's not a switch that you're going to flip and you're like, oh, this is it. I'm going to like, I'm good now forever. It's like, it's a constant like, yeah, it's constant like stairs that you're gonna every single, or like every few days or weeks or ever, you're gonna find something else. You're like, oh, that's something that I can apply and work and make work for me. And I'm gonna, or like, and sometimes it comes from big losses. I think most of the time it comes from big losses where you learn the most.
Mhm.
You learn that like, well, can't do that. that clearly doesn't work.
And why
Uh,
not mitigate that risk on trade the pull?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. we need fades here for
Yeah, we need
all that.
fades to be the shill. Yeah, MG. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Like, yeah,
Uh,
with TTP too, with like going long and trying to do that momentum long trading, you do have like that. The 30-second rule does come into play. I have taken some longs. Like even today, I took 2 longs. One was 1 win, 1 loss on longs. And what the one win I was in for about 10 minutes. So like you can do it, but it's definitely more difficult if you're not scalping it.
I
I
just
think
say, what's the point right now? Like I'm not even tempted by it because
yeah,
I have all my stats on TTP. I know where my edge is. I know clearly where my edge is and where I
yep.
do and where I find success, and it's not taking longs. So I don't do it. Even if there's a temptation there, I'll be like, look, this looks like a good long for you longs out there, but I ain't doing it because I know it's not my edge. I know where, and that's so huge, like over your journey and as you stair step, like Byron and I are talking about, like eliminating all the noise. There's so much noise, Byron. There's so much noise out there between indicators and chat rooms and this and that, and now like trading everything and like then sizing, which we've talked about a lot tonight. There's so much noise. If you can reduce that and simplify things down to, okay, what does work for you? I think that's like been the theme of tonight, has been
Yeah.
Byron talking about like what works for him, and he's leaning in on that. And what works for me, I'm leaning in on that. I'm not gambling. I'm not like, okay, let me trade this and trade that, and what's the next long, what's the next short, where I know I lean in on what has been working for us
Yeah,
and
I think
eliminate the rest.
yeah, you're entirely right, and I think like there is so much information about there on not even just like not just shorting on just trading equities in general, but or if you expand out past that, there's so much out there for on trading like futures and forex and crypto, and like it can be so overwhelming that I think it people, and I myself did this early on where I was trying to do it all right, and that's
Mhm.
not. I think this is actually like something that I learned a long time ago playing League of Legends, right? And the way that you get better at a game like that is you find one character and you play that character. You don't play like there's 140, 150 characters, whatever in the game. You don't try to get excel at all of them. You find one and doing that, like you find that one pathway that you can hone in on and really get good at. And doing so, you may like learn enough to eventually get out and do other things, play other characters, or try different cryptos or not cryptos. Try different current or try forex or futures or something because of what you learned by really honing in and getting good at what you do. So like
I'm
getting
not tempted by it. That
yeah,
they'll try to entice you. They'll say, "Hey, Byron, come over here and trade futures. Come over here and trade large caps." Like I get annoyed by it. It's like we have an edge and we're
yeah.
making money. We know what
Yeah,
we're
and I
doing.
think like
Like
my point is just that like that is yeah, all comes back to you. Like find what you are good at, and maybe eventually, because of because you found what you're good at and what you can excel at, then maybe you can like if down the road if you have some free time and you want to try to learn something else, sure, by all means. But really, the way you're going to initially find success is by narrowing your focus
mhm.
and not trying to throw darts at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, yeah. When you're doing that, that's when you're sizing small paper trading and whatnot. They say, guys, niches make you reaches, something to that effect.
Never heard that phrase.
I think I just made it up. Niches make you rich, make you riches. Maybe that's it. Uh, Traders, we're gonna do the 5K giveaway. Pick a number between 1 and 10. Don't pick the same number as somebody else. So be quick. I'm gonna be taking I'm gonna do a random number generator here. 1 to 10. If you're watching on X, get over to YouTube real quick. and type out a number between 1 and 10. If two of you pick the same number, the first person who picked it gets it. So you guys better be quick here. But we'll continue wrapping it up while you guys are typing those out. But yeah, these conversations are so valuable.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying. Like, I think like something like this would work. I know there's some visual stuff, but like work really well in a podcast form.
Mm-hmm. Right, because I mean, there's so many traders who, I mean, even like myself, like if I'm out driving, cutting the grass, whatever the case may be, it's listening into a couple
Yeah.
other traders and what was working, not working for them. Yeah, there's a lot of insight, good value there. So yeah, what are some platforms that you think I should?
The only one I know of is Podbean, and that's because every podcast starts out with ads saying Podbean.
Okay,
I don't know
Podbean.
like what the structure is there, but like that's the only one I really know of. But to push out to like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and like all of the works. But yeah, I would have to get the audio from these streams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Does
that's easy
Evie?
to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I can record on EV or I can just download the video off of YouTube once it publishes there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then it can send it over.
Yeah.
Guys, I think everybody fell asleep, or either no one wants a 5K account. They're all wanting the 50, 100K account.
No, they're on the 200s now. At this point, they've all passed us. They got the big bucks. They're spending like the $1,500 on the 200Ks.
I know.
We all know
Yeah,
MG's rolled in it.
all right. Well, if you guys, it's all good. It's all good. Y'all are expensive dates out there. But if you want the 5K, throw that number down. Outside of that, I think this weekend I'm going to be reflecting on Byron on what to do here, either the 50 or the 100K, and I kind of honestly want to go big, but my concern is what you expressed. I'm like, I don't want the numbers to make an impression on me. Like, I want to trade the chart and
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. Like the first time you see it, even if you take a smaller size or like a smaller size for 100K, like if you take like if you're I don't know what you're trading right now, like your normal sizing, but like if you take 150 shares on something that you might not normally take 150 shares on, and suddenly you're down $400, where with your current sizing you'd be down like $30-40 or whatever, then that's what was tough for me, just because like making that jump and seeing those big red numbers made me want to not realize and close out those big red numbers, which just made it worse. And that's been really tough for me, and like what and why I'm trying to focus on not getting to those big red numbers to begin with. Like I don't want to get into the point that I have those big red numbers that I'm like trying to play the mental game with.
All right, so you're for the 100K, are you going to have a dollar amount of risk per trade you think in mind, or is it depending
That's what
on
I'm
the
doing
setup?
right now. What I'm trying to is to do like $150 of risk per trade. So regardless of my entry or
That's
like,
tough to do unless you are right at your risk, which is your strategy. Like for me, I give them some wiggle room, so that
yeah,
would be really
it
good.
definitely is. But that's kind of how that's how I'm trading it, is I'm trying to wait for something that I think is going to work right now. And I don't even want, if it goes and hits that, I don't want to be in that anyway. Like if it's not immediately working for me, I don't want to be in this trade. So that's why I'm wanting to put tight risk on it. And if I get wicked out, I get wicked out. I know that I'm, even today, like after the new egg, I'm still at 66%. Like I'm normally around 60% trader. And I know that
That's good.
if I get wicked out, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to win more than I'm going to lose.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, the right or right out works for you, and you're able to keep it fairly tight. Yeah, the my success rate I thought was better than it is. It's on both the eval and funded. I'm at like 52%, but a 1 and 1.2 right now, which has the equity curve looking fine.
Yeah.
But when I trade, it's like I feel like it's a little higher than 52, but that's not what the stats are showing.
Yeah,
Uh,
like I'm my 50K flex, I'm at 58% win rate on
mhm.
50K max, a little lower 57 and 25K 62. So,
That's
yeah,
pretty good. Yeah.
it's like I'm all right, let me just look at the scaled account from before since I still have that. This is 52. But the thing like I think I'm pretty consistent around that number, and and this kind of plays into um the tighter stop, the waiting for setups that I really like that are going to work right now. I
Hmm.
really want to work on that risk reward. Because I've been because I've been taking bigger losses, my risk rewards have all gone into the toilet, and they're all they were typically have been around
Okay.
like 1 to 1, which is enough. But because I've been taking bigger losses, they're
Well, I
dropping
can think
like
of a
what?
couple ways of doing that. What are your thoughts?
um, well, my main thought is like what I'm trying to do with this is like if I'm waiting for if and I'm only taking the A+ setups that are going to work right now, then I can take bigger size
Hmm.
on those and just um really it's about taking smaller losses. I can take
Okay.
bigger size. I'm going to still try to or like try to shoot for the same win, or like I'm shooting for like 100 to $200 a trade. And if I can do that and only lose, if I'm taking $200 a trade, if I'm aiming for $200 a trade,
Uh-huh.
then and I'm only risking 100, 120, then now I'm at 2 to 1, right? I think it's about managing those losses more than it is about
Absolutely. And
the
not fighting. So,
yeah.
take the loss, not and don't fight. I was going to ask you too. You were finding all of your success was realized in pre-market. Where are you at with that right now? Because I know even today you were trading fairly well during market hours. Are you
Yeah.
sizing like more in pre-market because that's where you're doing better? How's that?
No, I've kind of become a little bit more liquid with it, like a little bit more fluid with it. A lot of the reason early on, especially I was trading pre-market, is as like I said before, like I still work full time, and so like starting at most days at like 9:30, I've got meetings that I'm usually in at least 3 days a week. I've got a 9:30 meeting, which means trading. A lot of times I'm trading during that meeting, but uh,
Yeah.
it makes it tough. Like when I've got like back-to-back meetings, like first thing in the morning. So
Hmm.
trading pre-market is a little bit easier for me, even though I've got the kiddo and I've got other distractions. But trading pre-market's a little bit has a just a little bit more focus versus having meetings, trading, and the kiddo. So like it's just one less thing. But like I've become a little bit more comfortable with trading market hours. I think like early on, what I really struggled with was how much more, or at least early on with shorting, was how much more volume there is in market hours and not being comfortable with the setups. Um, and so I was trying to, what happens I think more so even in market hours, is when something pops up in market hours, it is going to fly. Like there's cases like GNTA where like this morning where you get something that goes from 3 to 50 or whatever.
Hmm.
But more often than not, it's really I think pre-market, like the things that start popping up in pre-market are usually end up reversing. Um and but the things that like something if a news comes out at like 10 a.m., or 11 a.m., there's enough volume there that a low float stock that just got news is going to fly. And I
Yeah.
really was not. So I was trying, like, I would
Chat
try
rooms
to,
are awake. The high
yep.
frequency trading's on. It's like a whole different ball game.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
I've
whole
seen that.
different ball game when you're trying
Pre-market's
to,
just like up, down, up, down.
yep, where you get like those pops in the morning at 7 a.m. Like, there's still like that still exists in the morning, like in pre-market, but the the moves aren't nearly typically aren't nearly as exaggerated.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so like that was something that like early on I got burned with a lot on like the CWDs, the S bets, the BMNRs, the all those crypto treasury ones that like they would pop up in the morning and they would go from like 3 to 10 and they would start to pull back and then it would hit market hours and they'd go from 7 to 50. And those moves during market hours just burned me a lot. And so that's why I was like that mostly why I was so hesitant a while back about trading market hours. But I think now that I am more comfortable in what I do and in the setups, I don't really care when the setup comes. If I see it, I'm gonna take it. So it might be during market hours, it might be pre-market. I'm still mostly trading. Like my typical trading window is usually about 7:30 to 11. And once like normal market hours hit, it's a bit distracted and I'll like come and go from the charts. So from like 9:30 to 11, I
Mhm.
don't have like I'm not sitting there staring at them like I will be from 7:30 to 9:30.
Right. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. The 7:30 to 11, and it's it's like once the market hours hit, it's a little it's different. I've noticed that too with pre-market. I mean, you get it's just that. I mean, it's the chat rooms, the high frequency trading is more a liquid. So you will have some of those moves like GNTA that they'll go straight up, and then you can kind of wait for them, wait for kind of the top to settle, in, and then
Yeah.
it's pretty much like straight down. I mean, those things don't have many buyers waiting for them. It's like
Yeah,
people
I
get
think
stuck.
like I saw GNTA the entire move from yesterday close to today close was like 11 million shares traded. That's it.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
that's absurd.
Yeah, and
Like
then
to
you
go
have
from
BYND with billions. It was like the
yeah.
second most traded ticker, like in a day. It was a billion. So I think it was like 3 billion, something along those lines. Unbelievable. I mean, so liquid across the board. But yeah, Byron, I think that's good for the Friday night stream. What do you think?
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
we went over some good stuff in here. A lot of value. Throw it out on Podbean. I'll take a look at that and get that set up. But yeah,
We'll
is
name
there?
our podcast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you did the Discord. So, traders, if you haven't yet on that Discord, join it. It's free. Description below. Mr. Perfect Fall was gracious enough to set that up, and we're active in it daily. No, I mean, mornings we're streaming, we're trading. So all the alerts are.
Yeah, I was laughing at Kayvon who's giving trade ideas during the stream this morning. I'm like, dude, just hop in the stream. We're all over there right now.
Yeah,
He's pumping out trade ideas in the
yeah. Uh-huh.
Discord.
Yeah, he was doing some good work over there. But yeah, we're active, and then after like 11, once we get off here, there's if we see something that grabs our attention, we post it over there. And of course,
Yep.
there's different boards you can message in if you have a blow up day. We have a board for that too. Oh, we got a little bit of everything
We're in
over
there
there.
too frequently.
I know, I know. Oh man, it was a great one though. I appreciate you, Byron. What's the last word you got for the green team tonight?
Oh
Words of
man, put me on the
wisdom.
spot here.
Words of wisdom for the newer trader out there that's
Words
finding
of
their way.
wisdom. I mean, it's just come out and just it comes full circle and just gotta find what works for you.
Stair step. Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
said it great. Like, don't emulate. Like, you
Yep.
see these people we were texting about earlier. You see these gurus that are making all this money out there, and then the problem is we compare, we want to emulate that, and we're not trading our system, our edge, we're not trading we're trading something else outside of ourselves. And so when you trade something else outside of yourself, you don't know the risk parameters, you don't know the profit target, you don't know the sizing, you know nothing. And that's when you blow up. Like, you have got to be in tune with yourself, what you do well at with your trading. And again, I say this often. I don't try to tell people how to trade. I tell them what works for me. I say I will teach you universals. There are universal truths in trading with discipline, risk management, patience, all these things. But everybody's got to find their own way, as Byron mentioned, where what works for you. Whether
Yeah.
that's scalping, swing trading, large caps, small caps, backside, longing, shorting. There's we pretty much have all kinds of traders in here. So if stick around, and as Byron mentioned, you will stair step your way to success, and it's not going to happen overnight. All right, Mr. Byron, I appreciate you per usual. Next Friday is Halloween, so my kids are they're so anxious, counting down the days. We're going to be doing that, and then perhaps another one next week. We'll get the pod all set up. But guys, I hate weekends. I absolutely
Yeah.
hate weekends. What am I going to do? What am I going to do
Trade
till
crypto.
Monday?
That's
I
what you're
don't.
gonna do on Saturday, Sundays.
Oh goodness. I'll plan. I'll read. Um, Trading in the zone, and get some things all prepped up for Monday. I already was flipping through some tickers and got a few on the watch list for Monday, so that's what I do. But yeah, man, appreciate you. Appreciate the green team. If you haven't, hit the like, subscribe button. Make sure you join the Discord and traders. Email anytime, averydaytrading@gmail.com, or hit us up in the Discord. Byron and I are always happy to help you guys out. Otherwise, traders, have a great Friday night. We will see you first thing Monday morning.
See
See
ya.
you, Byron.